On today's show,
Rondo's days as a Celtic may be numbered as trade talks heat up.
Tyson Chandler says he feels sorry for Melo. We tell you what other struggling players deserve your sympathy.
And in the mean team, Andre Miller just misses the putback dunk.
It's Thursday, December 18th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters. Whether you're joining us live online, listening to the podcast, or joining us on NBA TV, we're very, very happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, it's Tass Mellis.
The rumor mill be churning.
To my right, Starters blog editor Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
And finally, it's the international man of mystery, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Lele.
Lelia, yes, we've got the meme team, always fun later in the show. But yeah, the rumors are starting to fly.
It's a
and
good time of
once again, Rajon Rondo in the mix. Third year in a row for the four-time All-Star at the forefront of trade talks. We had our main man Woj reporting on Wednesday that the Celtics have a, quote, renewed willingness in possibly moving him. They've got Marcus Smart as sort of a Rondo replacement. He's been injured in and out of the lineup, but they like what they've seen from him. Is this the year that Celtics GM Danny Ainge finally makes a move?
I think it finally happens.
You think so?
Yeah,
Woo.
I think it's
Hope so.
more just about Rondo and how he doesn't fit with the Celtics' future, and even less about Marcus Smart. It just seems like this team is going younger and younger and younger, and Rondo is part of an old regime, and I think Rondo just wants to move on and be part of a championship-type team. So this is it. It's finally going to happen, it sure feels.
I do like that we pretend that Rondo's an old guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
28 years old, but you're right.
Soon to
This
be
is a young
29, but
squad.
yeah.
And by the time the Celtics roster is in their prime, Rondo will be an old guy because, I mean, who knows how long it's going to be before the Celtics, all those young guys and all their picks actually turn out to be real NBA players.
And it's tough for him. He comes in to an organization where he's winning right away, and for several years now, things haven't been going in that direction. So, coming to the end of his contract, it just feels like they're going to go in different directions.
Yeah, Rondo, an unrestricted free agent this July. Boston, it seems, reluctant anyway to give this guy max money. And we can get to that in a second. You see here the young Celtics and all of the potential first-round draft picks that they've racked up over the next couple of seasons.
Thanks, Brooklyn.
Yeah, they could have eight potential first-round picks from 2015 to 2018 to go with some good players there in Sullinger and Smart and Kelly Olynyk and Zeller and so on. I want to know, though, let's get to the teams that are apparently interested in Rondo, and there are a couple out there. I'm sure a lot of you have read the reports. 5 teams, if you want to call them that. The New York Knicks in the East, and then 4 teams out West. And let's really focus on those Western Conference teams. The Mavericks apparently making some plays for Rondo. The Rockets, the Kings, Vivek's always interested. And then the Lakers, who reportedly are even offering deals right now. Nash's contract, some picks. Jordan Hill's name's been thrown around. Nothing is official yet as of recording this show. Rondo still a Celtic. Of those, though, let's start with that Dallas Mavericks one, because that's the one that seems to have the most legs to it. Do you buy this as a possible destination?
I do. The Mavs love buying low. They love buying low on guys like Monte Ellis. They just picked up a wave JJ Barea. They just love guys that haven't been reaching their potential lately. Now, the proposed deal here is for Brandon Wright and Raymond Felton in a first-round pick. Who knows what the Celtics would be getting back in return. But let's say this was the proposed deal. I'm very torn, and I don't like the Mavs getting that thin up front if they were to trade Brandon Wright. I think that's a big
they
issue.
can get Tyler Zeller in the trade as well, since he's a big guy.
Yeah, I mean, think about their front line. It would be Dirk, Tyson Chandler, and then
Bernard James?
yeah, who would be their third big?
Who knows?
A couple of guys that are on the wrong side of 30. Dirk can't get up and down the floor like he used to. They would be really, really thin up front. And we can get to the Rondo side because that's the more interesting part.
Yeah, I don't actually think it's a good fit myself for the Mavericks because their offense thrives on ball movement and getting guys open, and whoever's open can take the shot. And you don't respect Rondo's shot at all. You don't have to because he doesn't shoot the ball. And the only time he does score is when he goes inside for a layup. So if you've got a defender on him, you just need to lay off him. You can potentially double down then on Dirk or Chandler or whoever, or let him shoot. And if he does go inside, you can foul him, put him to the line. He only shoots 33% from the line. So I don't think it's a good fit for the way the Mavericks offense runs right now.
That's fair, but I mean, look at the Western Conference and the starting point guards for all of those teams in the playoff race right now, the top 7 teams. And look at who the Mavs have as their starting point guard. Jameer Nelson, he's been in this league a long time, and he was great but
He's shooting worse than Rondo.
he
I get
can't
that.
shoot at all.
Yeah.
And yes, Devin
but-
Harris splits minutes with him.
I don't know. I don't think Rondo is that great of a defender. I think he's a little overrated as a defender just because he gets a bunch of steals. And I don't
Yeah.
like taking the ball out of Monte Ellis' hands. He's not really a catch and shoot player.
Yeah.
You want him creating. We all have loved Monte Ellis and saying he's going to be an all-star this year. Now we're trying to take the ball out of his hands. Doesn't make sense to me.
It's odd because the Mavs have the best offense right now.
Right,
As
right.
we speak. So what is Rondo going to do on that team? You'd think that they want to bring in a defensive type point guard. Yeah, well, the last couple of years, Rondo has not been a great defensive player. It sure doesn't look like that. But I
Is
think,
that effort?
yeah, I think you can put a little stock into.
No Kevin
hey,
Garnett behind him too also
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
into play there.
And hey, this team isn't good,
Yeah.
and we're not seeing the best effort on the basketball
Yeah.
floor because Rondo knows that we're not a championship type team. I think that's part of it. But the offensive end, I think he'd make it work. I think that Rick Carlisle's a genius.
That's for sure.
And he
Yeah.
would just make it happen. We know, like Jay Kidd was there for a long period of time. Rondo isn't a
shoot
great.
threes.
He
So
was
at
knocking
that
down
point,
threes.
He
though,
could
yeah.
knock down threes, but I feel like Rondo's a bit like, like Shaq says, hey, I knocked down those shots or the free throws in the fourth quarter. I feel like Rondo would step up and make shots when needed. Last year, he was actually a good shooter.
Yeah, but we saw him at the end of games when he tried to take a couple of shots. He was terrible.
Yeah,
he was terrible.
It's odd, but at the defensive end, he's a really, really good rebounder, and that's where the Mavs really struggle. They're second worst in defensive rebounding. He gets 6.5 defensive boards a game.
Yeah.
He would bring up their defense a lot, and they're a poor defense. But you just think about this Mavs team. Like last year, they stepped into the ring with the Spurs, first round, bad defense. They're 22nd worst defense, and they take them to 7 games.
Yeah.
Because they overperform. I just wouldn't question what Rick Carlisle can do, but they would just be so thin up front. I mean,
Yeah.
we're seeing Dirk shoot the ball. They would have such a good lineup in their starting 5, but they would be extremely thin.
The reason Brandon Wright's name, by the way, has to be thrown in here, because if the Celtics are going to make any move, they want want some sort of young prospect. He's only 26. He's played great for them. And he doesn't play a ton of minutes in Dallas, but he definitely performs when he's in there. And then, of course, they would want picks as well. Brandon Wright, though, I'm with you guys. It does mean a lot to this team because they're shallow up there up front. And again, he's like, player efficiency rating for a guy that plays 20 minutes, like sort of so big deal, so what? But he's like top 5. I mean, he's efficient.
Yeah.
It's a
efficient
unique
basketball
thing
player.
that the Mavericks are able to sub out Tyson Chandler and basically bring in Tyson Chandler Jr. just
Yeah.
because they play the exact same way. They look sort of similar, and they're both playing well at the rim and defending the rim.
And that's what helps their other offense as well, is when you know that if Brandon Wright's near the hoop and they throw the ball up, he's going to slam it. So you have to respect that part of his game.
Just one thing I want to bring up with the Mavs too. They're always ahead of sort of the analytical curve. They want to do things that people say are great in analytics. The Celtics have the first fastest offense in the league. Rondo is leading the fastest paced offense in the league. So if he comes to Dallas, he's going to grab those boards. He's going to push the ball. They're going to get open shots. I think their offense would be fine, but how
Their
about
offense is okay right now.
Yeah, their offense is great right now. How about an Emeka Okafor? I'm digging.
I remember that guy.
I love saying his name because he is somewhere and he is good if he is healthy to be a backup big on
Oh,
that team.
definitely true.
Where are you, Emeka?
No, I was checking to see if we had an Emeka Okafor B-roll to play there. We don't have one.
There's one in college. There's an Okafor in college.
Let's
Whatever his name is.
yeah, that's true. Let's talk about the Rockets as another possibility. I think it's a bit more of a long shot, but we know that Daryl Morey has always sort of been searching for the third guy. You know, he wants that 3-headed monster. He's got 2 of them there in Dwight and James Harden. Made a play for Carmelo Anthony, maybe possibly made a play for Chris Bosh. He's trying to get that third guy. Here's Rondo. It seems like you could get him for young pieces, obviously picks.
Morey's been after him for a while.
And Morey has been after him for a while. Do you like this fit if it, potentially happened?
I don't.
You don't at all?
I think their chemistry is fantastic right now with James Harden playing the point guard role, essentially. I mean, he handles the ball so much. It just didn't work last year with Jeremy Lin beside him, handling a lot, with Chandler Parsons handling it a lot. We've got an MVP-type candidate in James Harden. This guy just does everything in the guard position. He does both. He plays both spots, basically.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to take that away from him.
Yeah, same sort of thing with the Mavericks for me. Why take the ball away from him? Rondo cannot play off the ball.
Well, everyone's saying they don't want to trade for Rondo then. I guess the question bears, is Rondo a max money player in this league?
no way.
Or
No,
near
no.
max money player?
No, because I think that's part of the reason why Danny Ainge is trying to cash in on him now. This is a perfect
He's
situation.
been trying for a
You
while.
do not like Rondo.
No, I think he's
You don't like his
overrated.
game.
I think he's overrated. I think his game is. I don't think he does what he should do on offense for the amount of times he has the ball in his hand.
So you don't think Rondo's a top 5 point guard,
No.
maybe not even a top 10 point guard?
top 10, I guess, but that's tongue in
Around
cheek.
there.
Yeah.
I think he would.
I
I think he would make the Mavs a very good basketball team. It just depends on what they can
Well,
get
again,
or
for me-
would have to give up for.
For me,
him.
though, it comes back to if he's not got the ball in his hands, that means he's playing without the ball. There's no point giving him the ball to shoot because he can't shoot and he won't shoot. And he's leading the league in assists right now. Look at his shot chart, for example. Where would you give him the ball to shoot? Even when he goes inside, he's only 50%.
Looking good on that left wing, though.
But
All
again,
green.
even when he does drive in, he can only drive into the basket. He never pulls up. He never has a stutter step or anything like that because he can't do that.
Another thing I hate too, in a close game situation, you can't give it to your point guard and Rondo to go to the line and knock down 2 free throws. That's risky.
He's like Shaq. He
But
knocks him
I'll
down.
tell you what, Rondo is a polarizing player in this league.
Oh, definitely.
Some people love him, some
Yeah.
people like Lee don't love him so much. Let us know what you think. Jump on Twitter, #the starters. If you're the Mavs, the Rockets, do you trade for this guy? Is he max money? Let us know. We got to take a quick break. After the jump, should we feel sorry for Carmelo Anthony and his cool hat collection?
I don't. I love that hat collection.
Back with the starters. Earlier this week, after beating up on his ex-team, Mavericks big man Tyson Chandler said he felt sorry for Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks. Of course, he played there for a couple years. Oh,
Wow.
cue the sad music. Quote, Tyson Chandler.
Tyson
Again,
Sandler.
talking about Melo and whether he feels sorry for him. I do. He's a competitor. I laced it up. I went to battle with him the last 3 years. I know he wants to win. I know he's going to take a lot of his heat. It's unfortunate because he's a hell of a player in our league. It's unfortunate.
Why would you feel sorry for him? Why?
Yeah.
He's got 124 million reasons to be happy.
Money isn't everything.
Got
Tess.
5 wins, Tess.
Who cares? He knew.
So you don't feel sorry for Melo?
He knew when he signed up this season.
That's for sure.
He was recruited by the Chicago Bulls. He could have gone elsewhere to win. Where they've got a lot more than 5 victories in Chicago. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
They put his photo, they put his image on the side of the United Center. Wow. He could have walked in there.
Gave him Ben Gordon's number.
Exactly. Exactly.
A legend,
It's
Ben
retired at
Gordon.
the
A legend.
United Center.
But yeah, I agree with you, Tess.
Yeah.
To me, it seems he is pretty clearly wanting to get them checks, and that's what happens. You pick the team that pays you the most money, even though they don't have the players behind them.
And it's funny. I mean, people say, yeah, he just signed for the money. Did he make a mistake signing for 5 years? You know, like LeBron signed for 2 years.
Who knows?
Yeah, he would have been 32 at the end of this 2-year deal. Would he have gotten the same type of money after that? Maybe he made a mistake. He always likes going for the long-term deal.
Yeah.
Like in his previous rookie
I
contract.
think Phil Jackson coming in there too, selling him on the
Yep.
long-term plans.
He knew they were gonna
of
be
the
bad this
franchise.
season.
Yeah, but it could only be 1 year on a 5-year deal that they're bad. They got cap space next year. The
Yeah.
cap is going up, and they're going to want to spend because they're not going to want Melo to play for a horrible team for a long time.
And it's New York.
They've got to hit a home run though on
They've gotta
on a
hit a
free
home run.
agency, off-season signing or a draft pick or what have it. And they do have a draft pick, so maybe they do hit a home
They're
run.
one time.
Play along here at home, by the way. Do you feel sorry for? Let's continue it from Melo. Let's go to do you feel sorry for the Sacramento Kings? This team started 9-5. And we were talking about them being a playoff team. How far can they pull ahead of the Thunder there, who were injured at the time, without Westbrook and Durant? And then what happens? Well, DeMarcus Cousins falls out of the lineup with viral meningitis of all things. So they falter without their superstar center. Then they fire their head coach, Mike Malone. Then Vivek Ranadive, their owner, saying they're going to play 4-on-5, says they need a jazz director, show your jazz hands. I mean, he's being made fun of a lot here. Do you feel sorry for the Kings fans?
Things were rough for the Kings for a while with maybe leaving Sacramento. Vivek stepped in. They're there. People are excited. And then all this bad stuff starts happening. And now they're kind of a joke again. That's kind of unfortunate because the Kings, when people were happy about them, that was a fun team to watch. It was fun to watch DeMarcus Cousins
Great home
turn
crowd.
into a superstar. The home crowd's amazing. They got the cowbells. I don't know. It's kind of a bummer the past couple of
Especially
weeks.
the way they started this season, you thought, okay, maybe they're starting to turn things around, and now just quickly it's just fallen apart again, and they're already in a battle just to get into the playoffs again. Hope things they can turn it around.
One reason I do feel sorry for them is during their broadcasts, even when they're on TV, everyone is always talking about how it used to be so loud in Arco.
Yeah.
It used to be so loud.
awesome.
This is we're here in Sacramento. This is a great atmosphere. Yeah, it used to be loud here. It used to be a really fun place to watch basketball. That's why I feel sorry for them. That's all they talk about.
Now it's called the sleep trade.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. All right. Do you feel sorry for the banged up Milwaukee Bucks? This has been
Yes.
a rough week for Bucks fans. Yesterday we talked about it quickly, that rookie Jabari Parker out for the rest of the season after tearing his ACL in his left knee. Last night, the Greek Freak tweaked his ankle driving to the rim.
Hopefully he'll be all right.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay. Possibility to play in the Bucks next game. Man, that did not look good though.
Like John Elway in the Super Bowl.
And we've seen him already, second time this year, tweak his ankle fairly badly. This one just as bad there in double overtime game against the Nets. Feel bad for the Bucks?
Great
I
start.
do, yeah. Nothing
Yeah, with a great start. Yeah.
Nothing deflates me more though when you see a young guy blow his knee out like that as well.
man.
Just knowing how how good they've been this year, how much fun they've been to watch, and you see that, and you're just like, oh man. Now he's going to have to, sit out the rest of the season, rehab his knee, and then start.
And how
all
much
over
of an
again.
impact it can have
Yeah.
long term sometimes
yeah.
with guys.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully not with Jabari, but we've seen it with other guys before.
He'd started to figure it out. His shooting percentages went up every month, and then he blew out his knee. It's such a
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah, we had the luxury of being at Las Vegas Summer League, sitting courtside, watching the Bucks play, and just watching Jabari Parker and Giannis on the floor at the same time. And I was just thinking to myself, if these two guys pan out, if they get anywhere close to their potential, this team is going to be very good for
Oh,
a
yeah.
long
Yeah.
time. The Bucks
Nice
are going to
point.
have a very good team. They start off so well.
Yeah.
6 weeks into the season, they lose Jabari, and hopefully Yanni comes back. But yeah, it is pretty sad.
And the worst team last season, I mean, we always think it was the Sixers. It
Yeah.
was the Bucks in terms of win-losses.
And hopefully it doesn't affect Jabari at all.
Yeah, well,
There is potential. Those injuries aren't
Yep,
what
for
they
sure.
used to be, and who knows?
Yeah.
His game doesn't require a ton of athleticism.
Yeah, that's true. All right, final one here. A little bit of a fun one, because this is a depressing segment, I just realized. Do you feel sorry for
They're picking it up with music, though. I can feel it
Harrison
up there.
Barnes? Do you feel sorry for Harrison Barnes having to wear the very scary / ugly mask there on Tuesday night
It
against
looks
the
like a
Warriors? against Greece?
gigantic unibrow with a humongous mustache on
Yeah.
the front
I
of it.
don't know how he sees out of it.
Yeah, it looks
know-
very distracting.
We've seen Kyrie and Kobe in those black masks, and he gets this one that it looks like he picked up from Target or something like that. Like, if you're going to wear something, you want something cool on your face.
But that's why I don't feel
Why
sorry
do you
for
wear
him.
those glasses?
'Cause I'm cool. If you have to say you're cool, you might not be cool. I don't feel sorry for him because he must feel safe in that baby.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, very
I feel like the guys who wear the sleek ones don't feel
Yeah,
safe.
there's a lot of
More
padding.
dangerous.
There's
But
a
they're
lot of
cooler.
padding.
They're
All
way
right.
cooler.
Do you feel sorry for all those
Chicks need
guys,
cool.
especially Harrison Barnes mask? Let us know on Twitter, #YourStarters. Got to take a break. When we return, Andre Miller believes he can fly. Oh, throw in. No.
Disagree.
We'll have some fun with the meme team next. Welcome back to the Starters. Every Thursday here on the show, we scour the internet to bring you our meme team. A few of our favorite weird and wacky moments from the past 7 days. It's basically just like the Dream Team, except we call it the meme team. Let's get to the starting five. Who we got this week, Pat?
At number 5, check referee Sean Corbin on the baseline. He's going to poke Dwayne Wade right in the eye. Oh, the eye gouge. That's a 2-point deduction,
He needs
Mr.
Harrison Barnes
Corbin.
mask.
That's not right. Wade was okay.
He flopped. At number 4, Andre Miller, 38-year-old Andre Miller. He's going to go back for the tip. Oh, nearly broke
almost.
his back.
So close.
I love that.
That's my favorite Sprite commercial.
Oldest active player in the league.
You know what his
Can't
favorite
even
movie
tell.
is? Hitch. At number 3, Drake. It's Drake night. Honoring their global ambassador in Toronto. He did the Raptors team intros, got on the microphone. Amir Johnson, he recently got a tattoo of a Swiffer wet jet. I guess because he cleans the glass, something like that. The Raptor, dressed as Drake, the OVO shirt, the Timbs.
Looks good.
Backwards hat.
At number 2,
Hey, oh, hey,
please
hey,
respect Wesley Matthews' personal space. All right?
How touching.
Like Kane Fitzgerald's all up in his grill here. Like, just
Yeah,
move
come
away,
on, man.
Yeah, I feel you, Wesley, man.
You need your
I'm
buffer
just
zone.
sitting here.
Yeah.
At number 1, Ronald Roberts of the Sixers with a couple pre-game dunks. We're
Whoa.
showing it to you because you got to check Alexei Shved's reaction in the background. Everybody else is excited except for Mr. Shved. Just a blank face.
Change your face. Be happy.
Yeah.
Alexi.
Come on, that's Ronald Roberts' biggest moment as a member of the Sixers.
That's
He
huge.
played for 3 days with the Sixers until he got released
Who'd they pick up?
so they could sign Furkan Aldemir.
The streak continues. Furkan Aldemir.
He throws down
4 games
dunks like that, gets released. He must say to himself, what the Furk?
Yeah.
What the Furk? I get released after dunks like that?
Come on, Shved. Something from you.
Will
All
we
right.
get 5 at
We,
Furcast
look,
this
we've
week?
got another Bieber clip. Sort of a
Oh,
continuation
yes.
here of the meme team. We have another Bieber clip. You guys know the classics by now. We've only shown this a million times. 10,000 crossovers, gonna finish. Eventually with the left hand, then I'm gonna stare at you.
Got us there.
Oh yeah. This one, lesser known clip. It's not the new one.
Oh, my.
Oh, no.
Down
Come on,
Go
Scooter.
How much did he
Scooter,
get
you're
paid?
better than that.
How much did he get paid?
Tripped on the foul
Follow
line.
there. But this is the new clip. Bieber posted it to his Instagram account. It's got the blonde hair.
Ah, the
Hey,
Jason Kidd look from the Phoenix Suns days.
game
Where's the
winner, he
pick?
says.
Where's the pick?
Game winner, just hit
Wow,
the,
how
just
did
hit
they
the
beat
shot
that
already.
defense?
There you
Wow.
go.
I hear everybody say
T-shirt
game.
and shooting sleeves.
Um,
That's a lot of sleeves.
tough to
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell.
Nice pick.
Yeah.
It's not moving.
Wow.
Good look.
Jeez.
He's a lefty.
That's some perimeter D right there.
There you go. So there's your new Beaver clip. You're welcome. Let's unleash the unicorn. Let's get to the starters fantasy minute on Thursdays. We do lovely. Looking at the best lines of the night. Look, apologies to Andre Drummond, who had a 19-24, hit a whole bunch of defense, and Zebo, Duncan, DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, they all had great games. Gordon Hayward gets number 3 on the Woe Boy list, though. Just a solid line in a win over the Heat. 29 points, 9 of 13 shooting. Perfect at the line, Lee. I know you love that.
I do. Good.
7 of 7. 4 3-pointers made, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and 1 block. I mean, he really
Solid.
did fill the stat sheet. At number 2, James Harden, in an overtime win against the Nuggets. 41 points, 11 of 21 shooting, 18 of 21 at the free throw line. Only 1 3 made, which was a bit of a surprise for James, but 10 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals. But the Woe Boy of the night goes to Danny Green with the Spurs in this crazy game. I mean, unbelievable.
Still going.
Grizzlies Spurs game that is still going. Danny Green became the first player in NBA history to have 7+ 3-pointers made and 5+ blocks in a game. Threw in 3 assists, 2 steals, and so on. So there you go. They're the Woe Boys for last night. One more break. When we return, the results from last night's pick and payoff and Lee's very solid play of the night. The Spurs were playing, so yeah. Yeah. It's one of them. Back with the starters, last night's pick and payoff results. Whoa, look at that.
Don't call it a comeback.
I'm in the lead. I went 4-1 last night. Tass went 2-3, so I'm 1 game up for the month of December. 39-20. Tass 38-21. Another close race here. 2 tonight's picks, only 4 games on, and we agree on all four. Excuse me. We all like the home team.
All right.
Bulls, Rockets, Kings, and the Warriors. Ooh, I was up in the air on whether it was going to be the Thunder or the Warriors, but we both went Warriors. Good luck to both of us, I guess. 2 of those games on TNT tonight, 8 o'clock, Knicks and Bulls, and then the good one later at 10:30. Everyone get some coffee in you right now if you're on the East Coast. Thunder and Warriors starting at 10:30 Eastern, followed by Inside the NBA. Lee, we turn to you. Lots of games to pick from. I know the Spurs were playing, but
The Spurs played so much
What are we
last
going
night.
for?
I had
Very
to go
solid.
with this game. Now, there were so many plays I could have chosen, but I went with this one because it contained so many elements. Beautiful pass from Manu, a 1-2 from Thiago and Danny Green, and then he finishes it with the layup. I mean, there were so many really good, spectacular plays. But look at that pass from Manu.
Nice.
Then Danny, Thiago with the bounce, layup. That's what I call a very solid play.
very solidly.
Quintessential solid.
Very, very solid. That's a classic Spurs solid play. Guys, tomorrow is Friday, which means we'll be here on television at 6:30, but in the morning we record The Drop, our hour-long audio podcast. Subscribe to that bad boy on iTunes, and again, we'll be back tomorrow here.
Thank you for joining us today, folks. And remember, biting an olive seed is just the pits.
Race the night, people.